Okay, so we sorted that error. The error was because we added at here. Okay, we were not supposed to add an at symbol here. Okay, it's just on top of it, so it was a mistake. So that will print the success message if the data has been inserted. So let's try that again. So you want to add a category, maybe of do we have electronics already? Maybe of houses, and then estates and apartments. Okay, let me make this bigger. So estates and apartments. So if we save this, oh, the page actually expired, but it has saved. Okay, it has saved. So let me reduce this. It's too much. So let's check this. Okay, so maybe we have to try that again. So we have category and we create. So let's try that again. So for training uh, languages, let's see. So we have this page expired because of a known error, which we are going to sort out right now. So the error is caused by what we call cross CSRF, cross-site request forgery. Okay, so it's a way of securing our forms during submission. So that form is not secure, and that's why you're having 419 page expired. So we need that tag inside the form on top of every other thing inside the form. Okay, so we can just have at CSRF, cross-site request forgery. You can browse it and learn more about it. It's really a security stuff that comes ready-made from Laravel. So this will ensure that our form submission goes through successfully without the page expired error. So we have this create. So let me maybe schools category and names of schools. Okay, and we save. Oh, oh God. So we have another minor error. I used dot save there. So it should be this, not dot save as in. So let's try that one more time. So we have our create, and then we have category churches and then names of churches. Okay, so yeah, so we have saved successfully. Okay, and then if you check this, you see that it has added churches saved successfully with the date and the time. Okay, so that way we are uh, fully implemented our create functionality, and we only took 2 or 3 steps. Let's see that. So first and foremost, we created here, we had a page, we rendered a page that we'll be able to use to create our to have a form that will allow users to save data to the database. That's the first part. Then the second part, we implemented the form actually here, okay, which we had errors expectedly. So this part is just, I mean, this form would work even without this part. It's just to display a success message or an error message at the end of submission. So we only created the form, and the important parts of the form is that you should include this as the action where the form should be submitted to the URL, because we are using resources on our controllers. Remember when we created controllers with controllers then -r flag. So then we needed the CSRF token. in order to properly secure our form and allow our form to be submitted properly. So this was the second part, and last but not the least part was this part where we were able to create an object of the class category, and then we use the object to assign the name, the description, and then to save our data. Then after saving, we redirect our page back to create page, okay, with a success message. So simple enough, 3 steps, something you can implement in 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, all right, so moving on from there, we'll start working on the show method. Then we work on show, that's kind of detail of profiles. Then we work on edit and delete. The delete is quite straightforward and simple. So the show also, but we'll spend time on the edit a bit. Yeah, so let's get started there. So to do that, let's refer to our index or page index.play.php where we had this. So we need to include this. You need to include these URLs. Okay, so this URL will bring out something like let me just give an example so that it will pop out this one, talking about this one. So it's like saying category. It's like browsing through this URL category, then 5, okay, the number, depending on the number, maybe the ID, depending on the ID of the user. This is what I mean. So if this user's ID is 2, for instance, so this should be 2. Of course, you see when we hover below here, you see below here, once we hover, you can see that it shows category /2 / blah blah blah, right? So that's why we need that link there. Okay, so um it will show that with edit. For the delete, it will show with delete. Okay, so that's the way the computer will understand that it needs to work with that URL. Okay, so that's why we have that. So update the href to point to this URL. Okay, I'm keeping the screen for a while. So URL category / then you concatenate ID, that's d.id. Where did the d come in from? It came in from this object we created here while for each while doing our for each loop. So it came out the d that we used to capture the name and the description, so we use it to capture the ID as well. So once you perfect that, that's the first step, and then the next step will be we need to customize the route. Okay, or maybe let me leave that for now because that's for delete. So the next thing you do is to create the show page. All right, so the show page will actually be similar to the category read page, the read page. So let's copy that create page and then see how we want to do that. So I'm copying this create page and I'm adding a page called show, a new file called show.blade.php, show.blade.php. Okay, okay, so I'm pasting this, and let me just call this category profile, something like this. Okay, so we remove some things here. So we remove the form tags. We don't need the form tags anymore. Okay, so another thing, we'll remove the CSRF. We don't need this. Okay, so what else should we remove? We'll remove the success message as well as the, let me move this, as well as this. We don't need to save any data, so we can just remove the submit button. So over here, there are a few updates we'll just do. We'll just place this as the value, so that if you have anything written here, that will be the thing that will display on the text box. So instead we'll place this value there, okay, which will be data dots. I've used dots again, I'll literally type it. So data dot name, and then for this one, for the description, we don't need to have a value inside of it. Instead, between the tags we have this dot description. Okay, so that should do the job for us. Okay, I guess we are done with this part. The next part would be to go back to our controller and update it here. So where is the show method? Here. So we are going to update it here. So we have an ID passed here. Okay, so we have an ID passed here. So we'll see how to use that ID. We have data is assigned the value of category dot find. Okay, find by that ID. Okay, then we terminate that line. So the next thing will just be to return. So return view this time, because we are not redirecting, we are not submitting. So return view category show. Okay, we don't need these ones. All right, so what we actually need, we've passed the data, we've passed the ID, and then we've given it to the variable data. Okay, so we need to send the data to the form so that it will be able to display. All right, so what we need, we just need square bracket, then data, and then this should be in quotes. These are strings. Okay, and then assign the value of this data. So that's as simple as that, and we are done. So make sure this is /show, not .show. Okay, so just ensure that as well, and let's see if this works well. All right, so I want to show this, and expectedly it shows this for us. Okay, it shows as if we want to edit. Okay, but we don't want it to show like this. So what we'll do, we'll just remove all the form tags. Let's remove the form tags. We'll actually do this when we get to our when we are doing edit. So I remove this. That's all we need. Yep. So let's check this out again. So perfect. So it shows it without the input forms, right? We can have a sharp back button that will take us back to the previous page there. Maybe something with JavaScript. Ahref. We close this A, and then we have JavaScript. There's one function called history dot back -1, so it will take us one page backward. Then we just have this back. So let's see. If we check PHP, we can go back now. So that works. PHP back, electronics, and then we have the category, name of category electronics, and then we can go back, right? So that looks good. So we are done with our show page. The next page we'll work on will be our edit page. So what we'll do, we just copy that create again, everything, and create, and we should create our edit page here. So we can call it edit.blade.php, edit.blade.php, and then we post it and we call it edit category. Okay, we still need this success. We'll pass it over to this page. So what we need to do, we will now have our value just the way we wanted to have for the show. And let me look for that. Let me look for that value. Yeah, this one. Okay, and then for this one we have between these tags, right? So this works, but worthy of mention are two very important things. Okay, so the first important thing is you have to make sure you have at method put, at method put there. Okay, very, very important. Okay, and then over here we need to update it to point to the data. That's the ID of the person, the category. So we have dash data dot ID. Okay, so that works. You don't need to add this at the end. You don't need to add this at the end. Okay, so just leave it that way. Method, we leave the method this way, and then it will save it for us. It will like send the data and then save it using this put method. Okay, all right. So update, let me just change this to update. All right, so the next thing, just update the controller for it. So the edit method, we'll copy this from here. We copy this to here, edit, edit to point to this edit page. Okay, so let's see our page, how it looks like. Category, edit. Okay, attempted to read property of name unknown. Maybe I've name. Which one is this? Data description. I think this is not even an error on this page. This is an error on. This is an error on. Okay, let's look at that again. These are an error on our profile page. So I just close that profile page. Let's open it and check that profile page. So data dot name, did we not send this data? We sent it. So this is the data, and then we sent it properly. Data dot name, name is equal to name. Please, let's just sort that out. So square bracket correct, data, then we have this, we have that. Everything looks good here. Okay, and yep, everything looks good. And in our show we have that data that was sent. Okay, we have that data that was sent. Oh, let's make sure. Okay, so please let's check this again. So the category, and then let me just make sure I refresh this, and show is working. The show page is working, but I wonder why we are having errors when we are trying to achieve something with this other page. Okay, so let's try edit. Oh, so line 7 of edit doublet. So let's see that. line 7. Okay. Maybe okay. I guess I've seen the error data dot id. Okay, let me remove this, and then URL category. Hope everything works well this time. So let's check that first. Let me go back to the controller. Yeah, everything looks good now. Okay. So I've seen the error is on this page. So we need to pass this ID. We need to pass that ID there. So we can have ID. Let's be sure that this works well. Data, the problem is with data. It's actually from this. Okay. Data.id. So let's look that up again. Okay, so we have the same because we are updating based on the ID that has been passed. So we assign a variable to it, data, and then class. We find by that ID the same thing we did here. So we implement it for the edit, and then we pass that data to the edit page. Okay, so just that, and then over here, yes, we still have this is good, and method posts, and then we have data dot description works. You don't need a value for text area. So we, most importantly, you need this output method, and then just update this with ID. So every other thing remains the same. So once you're able to do that, we can test our page, and our page is already working. But this doesn't work yet because we've not implemented the update functionality. It actually shows what you can edit. Okay, I mean, you can add or remove, but you can't save to the database for now, right? So that will be the next implementation, which is the update functionality. Okay, so with the update functionality, we'll implement some of the things we implemented with the save. That's the create, not this one here, with the save. Let me see, with the store actually. So let's just see what we can grab here and make some changes. Okay, so this is for the updates, and then we can paste that. Now, we don't need an extra page for that update, so it's just a functionality. So we have our request, and then we have the string passed. So we need a data, okay, and then we need to find that by ID. Data, we need data find by ID first, okay. And with that data, we don't need to create a new one, like as if we are saving it. This is update, so we don't need to create a new one. So we now have data dot name is equal to request dot name description, and then we actually save it. Okay, but we don't create a new object of it, right? So note that. Then after saving, we can redirect to the edit page. Okay, so, but how will we redirect to the exact edit page we need? So we'll have our ID there, ID, and then edit. Okay, So this should work well. So with success, edit updated successfully. Okay, so we can do that. Hopefully everything is we can just comment here instead of creating a new object. Let me take it above this line. Instead of creating a new object, um, find the data by ID. Okay, and then update the rest. So that's a comment for it. So this will take us back to edit page after we do that. So we save at the end so that we'll update it. So let's see how this works now. So clothing, I want to change this clothing. Where is clothing? I want to change it to material and fashion. Okay, and let's add changed this here. Okay, and update it. So it's updated successful, and then you can see materials and fashion. Change this here, and of course if we get back here we see materials and fashion, and this works perfectly, right? So now the last but not the least is the delete functionality. Okay, there is an even easier approach of tackling it, but that approach will not be useful to us because if we, let me just show you what I mean. If we use that approach, it means anybody that clicks delete, it will automatically delete the category. So we need a leverage where something will pop up and ask, are you sure you want to delete this data? And then if you cancel, then the data is not deleted. If you actually say yes, it means there is a confirmation. So we'll work with that confirmation. That's why we need an extra web route, and I'll show you how I did it. So let's see that briefly. So going to our web file, let's see that, where is it, route web. All right, so we have our home page route here, and then we have our resource routes here. Then we need this other route. Let me just minimize this. We need this other route that takes in category and ID and delete. Okay, and then takes in category controller, which we imported up here, class, and then the destroy method. Okay, so it's a safer way to work with the remove functionality. And then back to our controller, the last method. So let's see how we can implement that method right now. So it comes with an ID, string ID. So we will need category. Okay, so what we need is like just like MySQL SQL statement, select all from category where. So we need where. What are we targeting? ID. Okay. Let's see ID, and then we have delete. Okay. Okay. So we will implement the delete function once we get ID. So select all from category table where ID is equal to ID, then perform this function delete. That's just what this line means. And the next line will be to return, and I always like to copy this. So let's copy this line from here and place it here. So once that is successful, we redirect to category. Okay, without any IDs, we are going to the category browse all page. So we redirect to the category, and then with success. Why am I having that error? Okay, this is not Python. Yeah. Why are we having that error? Okay, so return redirect, and we have that. So we terminated that with a semicolon, so we don't need that. So we have category, and with success, deleted successfully. So we can just say deleted here, deleted successfully, and that's all we need to do. So category, select from category, so it will destroy once it picks that string that is the same as this string, right? So one last thing, since we have this success message, so it's proper, just get one of the success messages and place it on, since it's redirecting back to the category index page. So we just get to category index page and then we place it here. All right, so it will successfully show us a message that it was deleted. So let's see how this works. So I tried to delete this one. Maybe let me try this one, the one with materials and fashion. I say cancel. I go for this one, I say cancel. Maybe I try this one again and I say actually delete, and it's gone with a message deleted successfully. And then if we come over here, we don't see number 2 again, so it's gone. So everything works so well and so smoothly. And this is a CRUD implementation of PHP on Laravel, and it's taken, can I say, 3 videos. So just watch the first one, watch the second one, and then watch this one. It's really something that is easy to understand. Okay, we ran into errors, but it's always good you learn from your errors. And I mean, you don't have to just copy things to teach. You have to run into the errors and then face those errors yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, it's kind of a busy day for me. I've uh, I've taught and taught and uploaded so many tutorials, so kind of really tired. Hope you didn't mind. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just leave a comment and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, bye.